Y'all are dirty AF and we need to talk about it. And get your head out of the gutter. We're talking about your digital hygiene. Now, I don't care if you're in Web 1, 2, 3, 4.20. If you are able to receive this message, that means you use the internet and you are at risk. It is almost 2024, and these are basic safety protocols that everyone should implement before even thinking about the blockchain. So if you're new to this space, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, let's clean it up. Let's start with your internet connection. I know everywhere these days has free Wi-Fi, but you really should not be connecting to unsecured or public Wi-Fi networks unless it's an emergency. You should also be using a VPN, and for the sake of this tutorial, I am going to give examples. Always do research on what is best for you. I will also be providing links both in the description of this video and in a written tutorial. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We'll get into that soon. Mullvad is a trusted VPN in this space. There are a ton of different VPN options. This is a service you should be paying for. If it is free, you are the product, and this is the cost of securing your digital identity and your privacy. Now let's talk about your internet browsers. First of all, turn off all personalized ad settings. You do not want them tracking everything you do, and this can make you more susceptible to downloading something malicious, but we're gonna take it one step further. You're also going to download an ad blocker. I recommend uBlock Origin. This is an open source and free browser extension. One of the worst things that can happen to you is downloading malware to your device, and oftentimes people will spin up fake websites that look like the software that you are trying to download, and that will come up first on Google. So ad blocker is super important. You can also look into browsers like Brave that automatically block ads, but I would still use an ad blocker. Next, you're gonna make sure that you have an antivirus. I highly recommend Malwarebytes Premium, and please be sure that you type in this link or click it from the description. There's a ton of fake antiviruses floating around the internet. Once again, this is the cost of keeping yourself secure. Please buy the premium version. Now let's talk about your passwords, and this is really a threefold solution. First, get a password manager. I recommend something like 1Password. This will make sure that you have secure passwords that are not repeated over and over. If you've been on the internet for a long time, you have most likely entered your email and passwords that are similar to each other over and over. If you don't believe me, enter in any of your email addresses to sites like pentester.com. I promise you, so much of your data has been compromised. So one, start using burner email addresses. I have a ton of different email address accounts. Have different levels of public, right? You have your work one, maybe one that you do for online orders, one that you have never told anyone and you use to register for sites like OpenSea, Coinbase, your bank accounts, etc. An email address a day keeps the malicious actors away. And you will be using a password manager to keep track of all of these passwords for you. So no excuses. Now there's one more critical part to keeping your passwords secure: two-factor authentication. Now the easiest and most common method of two-factor authentication is SMS or text message. You are not going to use that anymore. Start using authenticator apps like Authy or Google Authenticator. And if you want to be super pro, get a physical authenticator like a YubiKey. Entering in your phone number to sites already is a risk, and I'm sure you've seen your number on Pentester if you are following along step by step. And there are actually certain sites like Twitter where having your phone number on there makes you more of a target. So get that off. If possible, I would also recommend keeping your authenticator apps on a separate device than the one that you bring out with you all the time. That way, if something happens, it's a lot easier to recover all of your information. So why are we not using SMS 2FA? Well, there's two reasons. The first is that text can be intercepted or faked. However, the more common is SIM swaps. SIM swaps give attackers complete control over your phone number. So first, you want to work on securing your phone number. Call your cell phone provider, or even better, go in person and make sure that you have extra pins and passwords on your account, and also that any changes must require you to be in person, in store with an ID. That being said, there's definitely people who have taken those precautions, and people are the factor here that is at risk, right? There are employees that have been paid off. And I know this isn't possible for everyone, but you can also look into cell phone providers like Afani. They do 100% protect against SIM swaps and even offer insurance if for some reason their system is breached. Security is something that doesn't happen overnight, and it's not just once. Every day you can actively spend 5 minutes taking steps to make yourself more secure. Now that we've set up a lot of precautions, you're almost there, but not yet. Take the time right now to bookmark your most frequently visited sites. Even though you do have an ad blocker set up, this will stop you from clicking a link that seems normal on your timeline, being tired and mistyping, and actually going to a malicious website. So go bookmark all of your favorite sites, your sites that require secure information, your favorite exchanges, marketplaces, etc. And this brings me to my last point before we start talking about some Web3 stuff: media literacy and social engineering. 99% of the time when you hear someone say, "I got hacked," they actually got socially engineered. This doesn't make it any less devastating, and there's so much time and energy being put into socially engineering people. Now, I do have a thread of some of the most frequent scams and things that we saw in the past cycle, and I will link that, but people are always getting smarter. This is a huge business in Web 2 and Web 3. So let's teach you how to avoid some of the most common tricks. If someone reaches out to you that you've never met before and they want to get on a call, have a meeting, if it sounds too good to be true, believe in yourself, but be wary. So here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna download any single communication software, whatever they say their business uses. You don't need that. If it's not a Zoom link, a Google Meet link, don't do it. In fact, set your boundaries and be like, here's my Calendly. This is the way that you can set a meeting with me. You also don't need to screen share or ever give anyone remote access to your machine. These are just hard no's. Also, you don't need to open any files. We've seen a lot of people hide malicious software in project pitches or decks. Ask for a public website. Make sure that website is not a new website, right? And while your antivirus should detect this, people are always evolving. So this is why we take all of these steps. In Web3, it's common to hear people say, don't click on any links. So if someone you don't know is sending you a link, and quite honestly, the new way that Twitter shows links is really misleading. It's really easy to disguise a link that is malicious to look like something that is super common. So anytime you see a link on your timeline or get one in a message, right-click it, copy link as, and paste it into a site like unshortened.it. This will show you where the link is really going. Sometimes it's safe, sometimes it's not. Now, malicious actors will oftentimes prey on your emotions, either fear or fear of missing out. If someone big in the space is announcing a new sale, even though the mint already was over, or something just seems weird, take a second, think about it, do some investigating before you click on any links. Also, I know we're not ready for Web3 yet, but in those situations, use a burner wallet. I'll get more into that soon. I promise you that the opportunity that is there in that moment will still be there a little bit later on. It's worth it to keep yourself safe. There's another type of social engineering scam that also capitalizes on fear. People will either get calls or DMs from tech support, emails from Coinbase support. Usually these are all fake and a way to get access to your accounts. So before you react to a call from Apple or your bank or your credit cards or an email, whatever it is, hang up and call the number on the back of your card, the very public number for all of these companies. I promise if your iCloud was compromised, Apple is not calling you. And yes, that might sound silly now, but in that moment, it's scary. So try and remember not to react to anything incoming about your security and to always be in control outgoing. As a user of social media, if you are using your Twitter, Instagram to log into other sites or apps, be sure to frequently go in and check what permissions you actually granted and take them away. Similarly, on your phone, go in and manage all of the settings. No one needs access to your precise location or all of your images. It might be annoying to pick images for something every single time, but trust me, this can save you. And not that you're storing any images of anything digitally, but we'll get there. These are all things that can prevent you from being engineered while using social media and hopefully will keep your accounts secure for you. We've seen countless Discords and Twitters get compromised, which puts the general community at risk. Now, if you are launching a project, I don't care how small, make sure that you hire professionals to help make sure your Discord is truly secure. I highly recommend reaching out to either ServerForge, John HQ, or Plumferno. These are experts and they're the best of the best. They're also the people that everyone calls when they do get compromised. So don't put yourself in that position. Now, I could go on about social engineering forever, so this is my last thing. But remember, as with everything on the blockchain, do not trust, verify. Especially on Twitter, social media account usernames are actually case sensitive, meaning a capital I and a lowercase l will look exactly the same. Copy and paste these links, put them somewhere else. Make sure you're confirming everything on multiple platforms. Once again, we're taking our time. If crypto is the future, or even just anything you believe in on the internet, then in the grand scheme of things, taking an extra 5 minutes to be secure is not a big deal. Now we're almost ready to get into the actual blockchain stuff. I promise you this video is almost done. But if you do have a significant amount of crypto, I highly recommend getting a separate device for your crypto transactions. You're still going to want to implement everything that we talked about on both devices. Also, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, you might want to place a gap between automatic updates. So if you do accidentally download something malicious onto your computer, it doesn't affect your phone or your other computers. So if you have two Macs for two separate things, have them on separate iCloud accounts. Make sure they're not talking to each other. Also, if you are an artist, make sure that you're backing up your files to hard drives consistently. Once again, our goal here is to make sure that you never lose access to your things. But in the rare case that it does happen, we're also going to mitigate risk as much as possible. Okay, on to the Web3 stuff. Are you ready? If you have a crypto wallet and don't have these, I don't know what you're doing. And if you don't have a crypto wallet yet, this is absolutely the first step. Get Wallet Guard and get Pocket Universe. I have extended videos on how to download these and what you can do, but they are both browser extensions that do transaction simulations and put any blockchain transaction in human readable form. For the newbies, this means that it will tell you exactly what is entering your wallet and exactly what is leaving your wallet. They also detect brand new sites and potentially malicious or phishing sites. You're able to run a full security scan via Wallet Guard, and this does not replace your ad blockers or your antivirus, but it will tell you what open approvals you have, what extensions need to be updated, which is super important. They're coming out with some new features this week, so definitely make sure you are not only following Wallet Guard on Twitter, but also have installed both Wallet Guard and Pocket Universe. Although these apps do similar things, they catch things differently. Please download both of them. 99% of the ways that I see people losing their tokens in this space are in ways that both of these browser extensions were already flagging. Please download them. Now, when we talk about setting up crypto wallets, this is something that I also have extensive guides on. I'm not going to get too deep into it here, but we're going to talk about some of the basics. Never store your private keys or your seed phrase digitally, not even in your password manager. Also, you need to be using a hardware wallet. A lot of the malware that can get access to your browser-based wallets would not be effective if you are using a hardware wallet. If this is new information to you, please go watch all of my wallet security tutorials as well as how to set up a ledger. That said, there are multiple brands of hardware wallets. Pick the one that's best for you, but make sure you're not just ordering these on Amazon, that you're ordering them from the distributors directly. And if you do not yet have a crypto wallet, go watch all those things in full. But not yet, there's still a few more security basics. Most of security is risk mitigation, so you're gonna wanna segment your wallets. A hardware wallet does no good if you're not truly using it as cold storage, which means it's connected to nothing. So have degen wallets that have tiny amounts of ETH just to mint things, to mint the random things. Have a wallet to list your different assets, maybe even a different one for different marketplaces. A vault wallet, which has no approvals. A trading wallet for decentralized exchanges. I do have links that go into much further detail about all of this that I will put in the description, that are in my OG security guide, and also where I talk about using ENS subdomains to organize all of your different wallets. But what about joining different servers? I need to verify with my expensive token, or token proof, or buying merch. If there's a Discord server that is requiring a connection for a role, it is most likely using Collabland, which is compatible with Delegate Cash. Once again, I have a full video all about Delegate Cash, but this allows you to have a proxy wallet that shows that you have ownership without ever jeopardizing what is in that wallet. It's open source and free, so if you're ever put in a position for a project where you are being asked to verify with your token and they don't have something like Delegate Cash, ask your community leaders to implement this. I've seen it done multiple times. It's a really great tool. Every time that you interact with the blockchain, you're essentially giving a permission. When you sign in your wallet, it is allowing access or some kind of action. Revoke Cash is an amazing site which allows you to take back those permissions. And while this does cost gas every time you revoke access to a site, you should be doing this. This is another way where so many assets are lost because people make contracts that interact with some of these open approvals. If you're not using Revoke Cash, you should be making new degen wallets every single day or often so that you are not exposing yourself to open permissions. But honestly, the value of things can change so quickly. Just revoke. Revoke Wednesdays, they've been doing it for a while. Every single Wednesday, go and revoke. Put it in your calendar now. Now, I promise we are almost done, but think about these principles of the blockchain, right? Don't trust, verify. Everything is public and open source, and everything is permissionless. There is an amazing community, and if you ever have questions, ask in public. People will comment and people will also call things out if it's wrong. It goes down in the GMs, not in the DMs, okay? Your DMs are useless. Also, turn your Discord DMs off. You literally don't need them. Everything on the blockchain is permissionless, right? And so if you do find yourself in a case where you are compromised and you've lost assets and you tweet about it, if someone is offering to recover your assets for you, they're probably lying to you and probably going to send you a link that is even more malicious. Once again, preying on fear and emotions. There are so many amazing people and companies that I mentioned in this video. I will also attach a list of Twitter people to follow that I highly recommend following. These are the people that are always the first to talk about any single exploit, explain it, break it down, and say what you can do to protect yourself. I also try and be super timely in my Telegram group. I promised I would keep this less than 20 minutes, and hopefully you do every single thing I told you to in this video, because I do not want to hear about anyone getting hurt this time around. As always, education is free, but any likes, shares, subscriptions truly help just so we can get this message to everyone out there. As always, let me know if you have any questions at all. Good luck, stay safe, don't get wrecked. And to make it super easy for you, here is your to-do list. Get it done, and I will see you soon. Happy We Are So Back season.